Hey, good morning everybody and welcome back to Walks and Wall Street. And on today's New York City walking tour, we are going to be exploring 110th Street Cathedral Parkway, walking all the way across to the east side of Manhattan and going all the way down to 59th Street, Central Park South, and the east side. So for those of you who don't know, Central Park runs all the way from 59th Street Columbus Circle all the way up to 110th Street Cathedral Parkway. So this is the northernmost side of Central Park. This is a very, I would say, underexplored neighborhood here on the channel. If you're looking to move here, buy, sell, or rent, anywhere in the Cathedral Parkway area, the Upper West Side, Upper East Side, please feel free to reach out to me at the email address below. So let's go ahead and start our walk. We're gonna see a lot of interesting coffee shops. You're going to notice the different architectural integrity of a lot of the buildings up here. A lot of pre-war, right? A lot of condos, a lot of co-ops, nice places to eat. It's about 10:30 a.m. on a Friday here in September, and it's very peaceful, it's very quiet. Now, if we continue to walk all the way west, that will run us right into Columbia University. All you have to do is go to Broadway and then walk up to 116th Street. We'll take one more look at the outdoor dining area and then we will head across to the east side. You know, one of the interesting things that we've been seeing here in New York City, particularly in the real estate market, there's a lot of co-ops on the Upper East Side. In terms of price per square foot, they're trading at a significant discount to condos. Because one of the interesting changes that has happened in Manhattan over the years is co-ops have really fallen out of fashion and condos have really come in fashion. People want the amenities, they want the pool, they want the gym, they want the dog spas, and all of the interesting things that come with a lot of these modern condominium developments. So if you're only looking for a place to live, right, and you're not looking for any of the crazy amenities, you could actually get some pretty good deals in some of these older co-op buildings. But just know that you're not going to get all of those amenities like you see in some of these condos. So we'll check some out today. It's a very windy day. It's probably about 20 to 30 mile an hour winds right now. Now this is Central Park West. If you walk all the way down Central Park West, you will hit into 59th Street Columbus Circle and the very beginning of New York City's Billionaires Row, which is right where the Central Park Tower by Extel, also 220 Central Park South by Vornado. And if you head uptown, this will lead you into Harlem, which is also another wonderful neighborhood here on the island of Manhattan. I really quickly want to point out here just the transition that the neighborhood has gone under. These are some of the original buildings, right? The pre-war, all that really nice brick and mortar facade with the fire escapes. But over the past couple of years, developers have been buying these buildings, knocking them down, and building these ultra luxury condominiums and retail space. So things have definitely been changing, particularly over the last 10 years here. So here we are, West 110th Street, Central Park North and Cathedral Parkway. This is one of the main entrances to Central Park on the northernmost side. Very, very seldom do a lot of tourists come up this way. So let's walk the perimeter of Central Park, and we are going to go all the way to 5th Avenue. Coming up on Adam Powell Jr. Boulevard. This is one of the main entrances for the biking path that'll take you around Central Park and all the way down to 59th Street. So again, looking uptown will lead you right into Harlem. Beautiful brick facades, a lot of brick and mortar buildings with those fire escapes. And then your backyard is right here, right at Central Park. Just want to point this out. So you'll have a lot of new development here on Central Park North. Right here at 110th Street Cathedral Parkway. Notice the difference. And if I had to make a quick prediction, what I think is that a lot of these older style buildings, right, that have been here since the 1900s, sooner or later they're probably going to be bought out, and developers are going to start building these ultra luxury condominiums with all of the amenities. You're already starting to see it come up. This is a really good example right here. This is 145 Central Park North. Completely new facade. Brand new luxury condos. Now, I'm not too sure how high the developers can build here. Obviously, you have to get the necessary approvals and the air rights, but I think it would be kind of cool to have something similar to Billionaires Row on 57th Street, but sort of going the entire length of 110th Street looking southbound over Central Park. So your views would be from Central Park North all the way to Central Park South, overlooking Billionaires Row, and depending on how high up the building is, you'll be able to see all the way down to the World Trade Center. But I do love all of this original architecture here. It's really beautiful. I mean, look at that. Let me know in the comments, do you like the architectural integrity of some of the older brick and mortar buildings here, the pre-war with these gorgeous fire escapes? Or is the newer glass encased facades a little bit more your style? Let me know. You'll see to the left. Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Good. And everybody's very friendly here. It's a nice community feel. Now, here's another good example of what I was talking about. This is 111 Central Park North. Check that out. This is another ultra luxury condominium. You have these gorgeous balconies, this glass facade. So imagine standing out on your balcony and essentially overlooking all of Central Park North. Now, maybe some people would disagree and say that they don't like the new and modern architecture, and I could understand that. I definitely could understand that. But I think it's appropriate to do these walking tours to kind of see in real time the transition and transformation of the neighborhoods that are happening. This is Malcolm X Boulevard. This is another good example over here, 10 Lenox Ave. Now, this may not look like a brand new development, but the developers did a really good job of keeping all of the architectural integrity in tune with the existing facades of the neighborhood. I think that's a really good job. I mean, you can see at the top, they have beautiful roof decks, beautiful balconies, yet again, overlooking Central Park. Now, 110th Street Station, you can get the 2 and the 3 trains upper downtown. So very convenient for transportation. Okay, we are almost coming up on 5th Avenue. And this is going to take us to the east side. So we are officially almost on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And we're going to be heading down 5th Avenue all the way to 59th Street. You'll see the very famous Plaza Hotel and also the Sherry Netherland, which is another very famous hotel and condo adjacent from the Plaza Hotel. Now this is a very, very unique shot here. I want you to look all the way in the distance in between that tree line. You can see all the way to 432 Park Avenue, which is one of the most exclusive and most luxurious condominiums in all of New York. Now right off to the right of 432 Park, you can see the One Vanderbilt building, which is one of the newest Class A office towers in Manhattan. Now, speaking of Class A office, one of the major developments that I'm really excited about in the city, and we'll probably do a walking tour around it, is 270 Park Avenue. That is going to be the brand new JP Morgan Chase headquarters, Jamie Dimon's brand new tower, which is going to be great all along the line of Park Avenue. That should give 425 Park Avenue some competition. And currently Citadel Securities, I believe their temporary headquarters is there until Ken Griffin decides to build his own tower to compete with Jamie Dimon. All right, we've officially made it to 5th Avenue. This is the east side of Central Park, and we are going to be walking all the way down. We'll take a very small detour just so I could show you what it's actually like to enter Central Park from 110th Street and 5th Avenue. It's really beautiful. Now, right across the street is the Africa Center. I really like the windows. Very unique design, right? (1280) 5th Avenue. So now we will start our walk down through the Upper East Side. Now, as we continue down Fifth Avenue, you're going to see some amazing museums. And I think that's one of the most attractive things about the Upper East Side, particularly if you're thinking about moving here. You have some of the best museums, some of the best restaurants. But my favorite museum in Manhattan is the Henry Clay Frick Museum, or the Frick Collection. Now, unfortunately, the actual museum is under construction and renovation, and I believe it will be that way for 10 years. Now, Henry Clay Frick was a business titan back during the Industrial Revolution, and his house was converted into a museum. And it is unbelievably stunning there because it borders Central Park. It has these amazing crown moldings. Everything is marble inside. But unfortunately, it is going under restoration, so they have moved all of the major exhibits out of the Frick collection to an off-site location just a few blocks away on the Upper East Side. But I still think it is worth it to pay to visit. Lots of scaffolding though, I've noticed. I think every single block that we've walked down so far is totally covered in scaffolding, and I see much more up ahead too. Now this is the Museum of the City of New York. Another great building with a lot of good architecture. Beautiful facade. Looks like the facade was marble. I believe there was also a statue of DeWitt Clinton. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, DeWitt Clinton Park is in Hell's Kitchen, all the way over on 10th Avenue. It's a major, there's like athletic fields over there. Okay, it looks like we have a little bit of a break from scaffolding, so we'll be able to see some of the beautiful facades of the Upper East Side, at least for a few more blocks. I believe this is Mount Sinai Medical Center, one of the dermatology offices. See all the doctors and the scribes taking a break. And this is the Kravitz Children's Hospital. Now this will take you all the way to the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Now back in the day, cars used to be able to drive all throughout Central Park. They're not allowed to anymore. They only can take the crossroad to help them get to and from the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side, which is good, because if you're a tourist or you're biking or you're doing some cycling in the park, you don't want to have to be weaving in and out of traffic. I'd say about 40% of the buildings we've walked past, maybe a little bit more, are covered in scaffolding. Okay, we are coming up on the New York City Jewish Museum, which is right on East 92nd Street. I really like the architecture of the building too. Looks like the facade was just totally restored. Very nice location.
You like taking nothing? No! Oh my goodness.
This is the Cooper Hewitt Smithsonian Design Museum, right in the corner of East 91st Street. Now, we're starting to get very, very close. Well, we're pretty much in the heart of the Upper East Side now, but if you look in the distance, you're going to start to see the Billionaires Row buildings come into full view here. And you'll see a lot more pedestrian traffic pick up. As you can tell, a very dog-friendly neighborhood. You'll see a lot of dog walkers out. And this is the main reservoir, so if you want to have a really good place to do some running or jogging, if you enter right here on East 90th Street, there's a beautiful reservoir right here. It's unbelievable. And all the way in the distance, we could see a little bit of the spire of the Empire State Building. And to the right, you can see the very top of the Steinway Tower, which is the skinniest residential apartment building in the entire world. As we approach the Guggenheim Museum, the very famous, right on East 89th Street and 5th Avenue. It's a very unique design, very unique architecture. Look at that. I'm sure many of you have already been to the Guggenheim Museum once before. It actually looks like there's some type of event going on today. It actually doesn't look too busy today. Usually on the weekends, I mean, wow, the line is sometimes all the way down to East 88th Street. But surprisingly, it doesn't look all that busy. I'll turn the camera around just to give one more view of the gorgeous Guggenheim Museum. All right, and we'll continue to make our way down Fifth Avenue to the Henry Clay Frick collection. Now again, you won't be able to see the actual museum. It'll probably be totally covered in scaffolding, but if you want to just do a quick search on Google Images, it's a really, really stunning place. Now, when it opens back up, I think it may be 10 years, you got to go, because it is really probably one of the best museums in Manhattan. My two favorite is the Henry Clay Frick Museum as well as the Morgan Library, which is a little bit further down towards the Empire State Building, but... Oh, and by the way, you'll see a lot of police presence in the city all throughout this week. It is the UN General Assembly, so you're going to have a lot of politicians, world leaders from all over the world that are staying at a lot of fancy five-star hotels, and also a lot of the pied-à-terres here. You know, many buyers on the Upper East Side of Manhattan that are foreign buyers, they'll purchase something that's called a pied-à-terre, which essentially is just a fancy name for a non-primary residence. So if they're only going to be in the city maybe a month out of the year, they'll purchase a studio apartment or a one-bedroom apartment and use it as a pied-à-terre and potentially even rent it out when they're not using it. So I would say the volume of people really expands on the Upper East Side neighborhood, particularly during the UN General Assembly. Okay, East 86th Street. We are going to come up on the Met Museum, which is probably one of the most famous museums, right? That and the Museum of Natural History are one of the two most, I would say, touristed museums in Manhattan. The facade and the outside of the Met Museum is really unlike anything else. And we'll see that come into view here in just a moment. It's all the UN traffic. Probably some major politician, world leader. Okay, East 84th Street. This is going to be the Met Museum. Very beautiful. You have those big Roman columns there. You have beautiful fountains, and it looks pretty busy today as well. And again, those views of Billionaires Row in the distance, which is very unique. You can see New York City's Billionaires Row coming in clear view. The first one you see is 53 West 53rd. The tallest one is the Steinway Tower, and then right next to it is 157. And 157 was the first building ever built on New York City's Billionaires Row. And it was developed by Gary Burnett and Extel. And then he went on to do another amazing project at Central Park Tower. So here it is. This is the Met Museum with the very famous stairs. It's a beautiful day in Manhattan. Seems everybody's out enjoying it. at the building on the left-hand side. That's amazing architecture there. All right, everybody, if you enjoyed that neighborhood walking tour, starting at 110th Street, Cathedral Parkway, going all the way down the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and ending at the Metropolitan Museum, the Met, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're looking to move to New York City and you need some help, send me an email at the address below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next New York City neighborhood walking tour.